Jane. Thanks for joining me today. We are going to be creating some cards with the Cozy Critters stamp and die set. We're also going to be using some pattern papers from the Pumpkin Season 6x6 paper pack. For our first card, I thought we'd make a mini slimline card. Basically, my card base here is 6.5 by 3.5 inches when folded. I'm using just a craft brown cardstock for the base. I've cut a couple of patterns from the Pumpkin Season paper pad. I've got a plaid and a polka dot here, and I've just cut the polka dot long enough that it'll fit underneath the plaid, because as you can see, I've cut this diagonal angle just to add some visual interest. I'm gonna put this diagonal angle here. And what I thought I would do, I always put something in between my pattern papers, just something to break them up a little bit, but also pull them together. At the diagonal edge of this plaid piece, I have used our 1/4 inch double-sided adhesive tape. It's our Easy Tear tape, and they come in 3 thicknesses. We have a 1/4 inch, we have an 1/8 of an inch, which I don't have right here in my hand, and then we have a 1/2 inch. You get 55 yards. That is a lot of tape on these, and I love them because the tape is super high tack, so it's really sticky. It's going to stick down everything that you need it to. Even on your interactive cards, your fun fold cards, this tape will hold really well. I love it also because it's easy to tear by hand. You don't always have to have your scissors when you're doing a project. You can just tear the tape the size you need. So I've run a little piece on the edge of this diagonal, and what I've done that for is I am going to add some glitter to the edge. We have brand new mixes of glitters. These are super fine quality glitters that are made in the USA, and we mix the colors here in-house. We have lots of fun doing that. So these are custom colors to us that you're not going to find anywhere else. I'm going to use Espresso, which is a really beautiful brown glitter that also have hints of gold, and it's really pretty and sparkly. So I'm just going to remove the backing to the tape, and I'm just going to sprinkle my glitter along the edge. I tap off any excess, and while I have it on my card here, I'm just going to burnish it with my finger to the tape. So I'm just rubbing the glitter with pressure down into the tape, and that's going to make it have a permanent hold. It's not going to go anywhere. So I flick the paper to get any excess glitter off, and now we have a beautiful glittered edge to that plaid paper. Look how pretty and sparkly that is. I'm just going to add my extra glitter back into the jar. If you get extra glitter on your workspace, have no fear. If you have one of our Scrub It Clean cloths or microfiber cloth, it cleans the glitter up perfectly. You just swipe it over and it's going to take all the glitter away. Here's our card base, and now we're ready to add some other elements. I've cut out of white cardstock a scallop square, and then I cut a stitch square to fit right in the center of that. We're just going to put that a little bit over our glittered border. So let's glue these down. I've got our adorable little squirrel all colored here. He just loves his coffee. He's hugging this little coffee mug. And I've added some foam adhesive to the back, so he's gonna pop off the card just a little bit, just for dimension there. And then I've cut out the sentiment, wishing you everything nice with a dash of pumpkin spice. And we're just gonna put that right under the squirrel along there. I love the card so far, but I think I'm going to finish it off with some of our glitter enamel dots. And these glitter enamel dots, they coordinate and match the pumpkin season paper pack. And there is our finished card. I think it's super cute. For our next card, I did a little fun cut here. So I have a top folding A2 size card. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when folded. And I took it to my paper trimmer, and the front of the card, I just cut a diagonal and cut that portion off of the card. And I took a piece of patterned paper and I cut it to 4 inches by 5 1/4, so it's a 1/4 inch smaller than the card base. And I'm going to glue one piece to the front, and then just for extra decoration, I'm gonna glue the second piece, and it's gonna flip over and be fun polka dots on the back. And as you can see, if you cut the diagonal on your paper and you line up the diagonal part right at the edge of the cut card base, then you're gonna have a nice white border around the two sides. Since you can see the white card base on the inside there, I am going to glue down a piece of striped pattern paper to the inside of the card base. And so here's our card so far. To finish the front of the card, I have cut 2 pieces of paper. I've got a brown craft piece and a white piece to go over the top of it. And I've cut them 1 inch smaller than the card base. The craft is going to be 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and then the white will be a 1/4 inch smaller than that. And I only want to glue that to the diagonal part of the card front. I don't want to glue it completely down here because you won't be able to open the card. So now I have a card that opens like so. So let's decorate this white front of the card. I have 2 little adorable critters here. I have a bear, he's got his warm drink, and I have a cute fox, and he's got a donut. So those are going to go on the front. I've also cut 2 strips, one of craft paper and one dark brown polka dot, and these are going to go across the front of the card like that. I've stamped and cut out from the Cozy Critters set the autumn greetings, and I'm going to glue that down to our little strip of paper. I'm loving this card so far, and now I'm going to add some of our glitter enamel dots just to finish it off. And here is our finished card. And I love that it's unique in the way it opens up. It just gives you a hint of the inside of the card, which is also decorated. Now, if you needed to write a message on the inside, you could cut a white piece of paper the same size that you cut here on top and just glue it to the inside, and it will be covered by this one if you center it in the card, and then you have a perfect spot to write your message. I've got some cute critters for our next card, and I have cut out, this is our Dottie cover die, and I've used the 2 dies together. It has a scalloped backing, and then it has this insert that you can put in, and it cuts out all the polka dots. So I've cut it out of this nice teal paper, and I have a piece of our adhesive sheets. So we also have adhesive sheets available in a couple of different sizes. And I've just cut a piece out that's going to fit right behind the polka dots. Because what we're going to do is we're going to make these polka dots sticky, and I'll show you why we want them sticky in just a second. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to peel the backing off of the adhesive sheets. The backing also peels off fairly easily. It's not anything difficult to get the backing off. So now also, this is now sticky. Once I peel the other side of the backing off, this piece will easily just stick down to the card. So now all our polka dots are sticky, and the reason I wanted them sticky is we're gonna make glitter polka dots. How fun. So I've got my extra sheet of paper here underneath, and I'm just gonna add glitter to the top of this base. And this time I'm going to use our pumpkin spice superfine glitter. The pumpkin spice glitter is a beautiful mixture of orange with hints of yellow and green and bronze, all the colors of pumpkin spice season. So all those beautiful fall colors. So I'm just gonna put some in the center here, and then I'm gonna spread it around and burnish it down again with my finger. It's really not gonna take this much, but that's okay. We'll put it back in the jar and save it for another project. So I'm gonna tap off the excess. I will put this glitter back in the jar. And before you say, oh my gosh, Michelle, I can't stand a glitter mess on my hands and on my workspace, again, I'm gonna take our microfiber cloth. It's gonna take it completely off of my hands, and then we're just gonna we're gonna wipe it right off of our workspace. I wanna burnish and push that glitter down into that adhesive sheet a little bit more, so it'll stay permanently. And I'm gonna take my microfiber cloth and I'm just gonna wipe off the excess glitter from my card panel piece. Now we're ready to assemble our card. Now to get the excess glitter off of the microfiber cloth and as well as the top of this piece, I just take them over my trash can next to me and I tap them on the edge or shake them over the trash can, and that gets all the excess glitter off the cloth as well as the sheet, and it's all nicely contained in my trash can. So we have this beautiful glittered polka dots, and it's really super sparkly. So because we have the adhesive sheet on the back, I'm just going to peel away the backing and we're ready to adhere this to the card. Now we need a place to anchor our critters down to the card. We don't want them just floating around on those polka dots. So I've cut a stitch circle out of some craft paper, and I just cut 2 edges off of the circle to make a squared off corner. I just put it in my paper trimmer and cut a little off, make it square there. So it just sits in that corner real nicely. Now we're ready to add our critters. I've got this adorable deer and he has a cupcake or a muffin. We have an owl with a pie, and we've got that fox again with his donut. So I'm just going to decide what order I want them to go in. And lastly, I have stamped and cut out the sentiment Happy Fall. And I'm just going to add that over to the side. Here's our card. I love how that came out. I'm going to leave it just as it is. I love all that super sparkly polka dots in the background with our adorable critters in the corner. This is Happy Fall. For our last card, we're going to do another mini slimline. I kind of like working with the different size of this type of card, this mini slimline. It's fun to do something different. So I've got a white card base and I'm gonna glue down a layer that's 1/4 inch smaller, this craft paper. And then I've got a piece of polka dot and a piece of stripe. We're gonna add those to the top of the craft cardstock. But first, as you can see, I've added another strip of our adhesive tape, the Easy Tear tape, and I'm gonna add some more glitter to this card. So I've removed the backing from the tape, and the backing really does come off pretty simply. It's really easy to get off. I think I'm gonna use our pumpkin spice again. Now we're ready to glue down the pattern paper pieces. I've burnished the pumpkin spice glitter down to the adhesive. I hope the camera can pick up just how beautiful those colors are sparkling together. It's a really pretty glitter mixture. So we're going to glue these down. And here is our card base. For the next part of the card, I've cut out with some pattern paper and craft paper our fancy tag dies. So in the fancy tag dies, we have this tag here, and it's just a pretty plain tag shape, but it has a nice stitched edge, so it gives it a nice finished look. But you can also cut out the scalloped shadow piece of the tag. So you could have a scallop tag, or they layer together really nicely. I've also cut out from that set, we have a little topper piece that fits right on top of the tag and has a scalloped edge to it. So I'm going to glue these down to the card, just kind of at a diagonal. So there is our fancy tag on the card. I cut out from our stitched bow dies. The die set comes with 3 sizes of bows, and this is the smallest one, and it makes the most adorable tiny little bow. So first you take the piece that kind of looks like goggles or glasses, and you fold the ovals in half so that the little tabs from the edge go to the middle, and you glue those down in the middle. And I find it easy to take a pair of tweezers, and these are nice, they're reverse tweezers. Instead of pinching to hold something, you pinch it to open them, and then the tweezers actually hold the item themselves. I'm not pinching it at all. It holds it. So I'm gonna let those hold until that dries. And then this small little rectangular piece, it's really tiny for the small bow. It's gonna wrap around the center of the bow. Then you glue it down. Once I have that wrapped around the middle, again, I'm gonna use my tweezers to hold that down in place until that glue dries. The small bow, I would say, is the trickiest to put together just because it's so tiny, but it's worth the trouble because it's so stinking cute once you get it finished. I have added some foam tape to the back of our squirrel just so he pops off the card a little bit, and I'm going to put him in the center of the tag, just like so. And then I've cut out the sentiment that I stamped, Cozy Wishes, and I'm gonna glue that right underneath the squirrel in the center of the tag. So there's the card so far. It's coming out really cute. So I'm gonna glue down the backing of the bow. And I'll just go right up at the top of the tag, and I'll add some glue so that I can glue the bow right on top of that. And now we have a super cute little 3-dimensional bow at the top of our tag. I think this card came out really cute, just like the others. Thanks again so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed these cards we've created with the Cozy Critters stamps and dies. You can find these at pinkandmane.com or ask your local retailer. Until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.